I collected empty bottles on the street, sold them quietly, and saved enough to buy her the perfume she once smiled at. But when I gave it to her, she turned away, saying another man's scent already surrounded her. I need to tell this story. Maybe typing it out will help me sleep at night, though I doubt it. 3 months ago, I was walking through the mall with Sarah. We'd been together for 4 years, engaged for 6 months. Money was tight. I was working 2 jobs, just to keep us afloat, while she finished nursing school. We passed this fancy perfume counter, and I saw her stop, just for a second. Her eyes lit looking at this bottle of Channel No. 5, Someday, she whispered, then quickly pulled me away. Come on. We need to get to the food court before shift. But I saw that look. The same look she had when we first met. Pure joy. That night, I started my bottle collection. Every morning before my construction job. Every evening, after my restaurant shift. I'd walk different neighborhoods, looking for returnable bottles and cans. 10 cents here, 5 cents there. My coworkers thought I was losing it, but I didn't care. Dude, why are collecting trash? My buddy Mike asked one day. It's not trash, I said, defensive. It's for something important. For 2 months, I collected. My hands were permanently sticky. My car smelled like stale and soda. Sarah kept asking why I was always going for walks. But I wanted it to be a surprise. The perfect surprise. Here's where I messed. Where everything went wrong. Kelly started working at the restaurant in month 2 of my bottle collecting. 22. Nothing like Sarah's brunette elegance. She laughed at my jokes. She stayed after shifts to help me clean. She asked about my seemed stressed. She said one Thursday night as we mopped floors together. Just trying to save money for something special. I told her. Girlfriend's lucky to have someone who cares so much. The way she said it. The way she looked at me. I felt something I hadn't felt in months. Appreciated. Scene. Sarah had been so busy with clinicals, studying, preparing for boards. When we talked, it was about her stress, her future, her dreams. I was just the guy working 2 jobs to keep the lights on. She doesn't even know I exist half the time. I heard saying. Kelly stepped closer. That's impossible. Look at everything due for her. I should have walked away. Should have gone home to Sarah, who was probably falling asleep over her textbooks again. Instead, I stayed. We talked until 2 a.m. About dreams, about feeling invisible, about wondering if we were settling for less than we deserved. She understood me in ways Sarah seemed to have forgotten how to. I should go, I finally said. Yeah, she whispered. But neither of us moved. The was soft, gentle. Everything I'd been craving for months. I drove home that night with my stomach in knots. Sarah was asleep, her nursing books scattered around her like a fortress I couldn't cross. I slipped into bed beside her. Hating. But I didn't stop. 3 more late nights with Kelly. 3 more conversations that led to moments I can't take back. Each time telling was just emotional support. Just friendship, just someone who saw me as more than a paycheck. Meanwhile my bottle cola $7.50, Ord $83.20, $125.80. Sarah noticed I was distant but blamed it on work stress. We're working too hard, baby. We'll get through this rough patch. If only she knew the rough patch was me. The perfume cost $150. On the day I hit $149.60 in bottle money, I added $10 from my wallet and bought it. The saleswoman wrapped it in beautiful paper with a ribbon. I had it all planned. Sarah's nursing board exam was that Friday. I'd surprise her Saturday morning with breakfast in bed, and with perfume. We'd celebrate her finishing school. And I'd come clean about the bottle collecting. She'd laugh, probably cry happy tears. We'd be us again. Kelly texted me Friday night. Thinking about. Hope surprise goes well tomorrow. I should have deleted the text immediately. Saturday morning came. Sarah was still sleeping when I crept into the kitchen to make pancakes. Her phone was charging on the counter, buzzing with notifications. Usually I'd ignore it, but the screen lit with a text from her study partner Marcus. Thanks from last night. Incredible. My went cold. I picked her phone. Message after message, for weeks. Sweet, intimate conversations. Plans to meet. Marcus telling her she deserved better than someone who was never around. Her responses were warm, affectionate. My hands were shaking as I scrolled. The timeline became clear. While I was collecting bottles for her perfume. While I was feeling guilty about Kelly, Sarah had been having her own late night conversations. What are doing? I spun around. Sarah stood in the doorway, hair messy from sleep, wearing the oversized t-shirt I'd bought her for her birthday. Who's Marcus? My voice came out colder than I intended. Her face went white. Then red. Give me my phone. Who is Marcus, Sarah? It's not, it's complicated. The same word I'd used to justify Kelly. I set her phone on the counter and walked to the bedroom. The wrapped perfume was sitting on my dresser, mocking me with its perfect ribbon. When I came back to the kitchen, she was dressed, keys in her hand. I need space to think, she said. I bought something. The words felt ridiculous as they left my mouth. She stopped, hand on the door handle. What? I held out the box. From the mall. I've been saving for months. Collecting bottles, working extra shifts. I wanted to surprise point. She stared at the box like it might. Slowly, she reached for it, unwrapped it with trembling fingers. When she saw the bottle, tears started falling. But not happy tears. I can't. She whispered. What do you mean can't? She looked at me then, really looked at me, and I saw something break in her eyes. Because Marcus already bought me this exact perfume last week. It's sitting on my dresser right now. The world tilted sideways. Everything I'd worked for, saved for, dreamed about. He just walked into a store and bought it like it was nothing. Sarah, and the worst part. Her voice cracked. I can smell her on. Kelly's perfume. Light, floral. I'd gotten so used to being around her that I hadn't even noticed. Sarah set the perfume box on the counter between us like evidence in a trial. I was going to tell about Marcus tonight. I was going to be honest. But, how long, Sarah, please? How long have been cheating on me? The question hung in the air like smoke. I opened my mouth but no words came. Because there was no good answer. No justification. No explanation that would make this less for either of us. She nodded slowly, like I'd confirmed what she already knew. Keep the perfume, she said. Give it to her. I already have one. The door closed behind her with a soft click that sounded like the end of everything. I stood there for 20 minutes, staring at the bottle of Channel No. 5. All those mornings picking other people's trash. All those nights lying to the woman I'd planned to marry. For a perfume she didn't even want anymore. My phone buzzed. Kelly texting to ask how the surprise went. I turned my phone off and sat on my couch, holding a 150 bottle of perfume that would never smell like love again. Guys asked for an update. I had better news. Sarah didn't come back that night. Or the next night. I kept checking her Instagram, watching her story views to see if she was looking at mine. She wasn't. Monday morning at the construction site, I felt like a zombie. Hadn't slept, barely eaten. My supervisor Danny pulled me aside. Look like Martinez. Everything okay at home? Fine lime. Just tired. But I wasn't fine. My hands were shaking so bad I dropped a hammer on my foot. Nearly walked into a beam. By lunch, Danny sent me home. Get head right. Come back when not a danger to and others. That evening, I finally turned my phone back on. 17 missed calls from Kelly. 23 texts from Kelly. Okay. I'm worried about. Did something happen with Sarah? Please just tell me you're alive. I should have felt grateful that someone cared. Instead, looking at her messages made me sick. This was what I'd thrown away 4 years for. Text messages from someone I barely knew. I called her back. Oh thank God, she said. I thought maybe I'd been in an accident or, Kelly, Stallings. We need to stop this. Whatever this is. It's over. What happened? Did tell her about us. Us. Like we were something real. Like we were worth destroying my entire over. She found out on her own. And she's been seeing someone else too. We're both cheaters, Kelly. We're both awful people. Don't say that. What we have is real. I know it's complicated but what we have is 3 conversations and some kisses that ruined everything good in my point. The words came out harsher than I meant them. But they were true. Kelly started crying. I thought cared about me. I did. I do, but caring about destroyed the person I actually loved. I blocked her number. Felt worse, not better. Tuesday, Sarah came back for her stuff. She brought Marcus with her. I watched from the kitchen window as they pulled in his BMWs. Of course he drove a BMW. Of course he was tall with perfect hair and probably made more month than I did in 6. She used her key to get in. I stayed in the kitchen like a coward. I'm just getting my things, she called out. Marcus is helping. Helping. Right. I heard them moving around our bedroom. Our shared dresser drawers opening and closing. Her jewelry box, the one I'd bought her for Valentine's Day, clicking shut for the last time. 20 minutes later. She appeared in the kitchen doorway. Marcus waited by the front door, looking uncomfortable. I left ring on the dresser. She said quietly. The engagement ring. 2 months of overtime pay. Another sacrifice that meant nothing now. Sarah, can we talk? Just for 5 minutes. She shook her head. There's nothing to say. We both made our choices. But I love. I know I messed. But I love. Don't cheat on people, love. Her voice was steady but her hands were shaking. Don't lie to them for months. Don't make them feel crazy for sensing something was wrong. Cheated too. It was a desperate, pathetic thing to say. We both knew it. Yeah, I did. After it already checked out. After months of feeling like I was invisible to. But that doesn't make either of us right. Marcus cleared his throat from the doorway. Sarah, we should go. She nodded, then looked at me one more time. I hope Kelly makes happy. I really do. Because this cost us everything. After they left, I sat on my bed next to the engagement ring. Our shared space looked empty. Her half of the closet was just bars and dust bunnies now. Her side of the bathroom counter was a clean rectangle where her makeup had been. I picked the ring and tried to remember the night I proposed. Sarah crying happy tears. Her saying yes before I'd even finished the question. Planning our future together. That version of us felt like strangers now. Wednesday brought worse news. My restaurant manager called. Hey, I need to talk to about Kelly. My stomach dropped. What about her? She's been coming to work upset. Can't focus, burned herself on the fryer yesterday. She says 2 were involved and now won't talk to her. It's complicated. Well, uncomplicate it fast. I can't have this drama affecting my kitchen. Either work it out with her professionally or one of needs to find a new job. I'll find a new job. Sure. I've been here 2 years. She's been here 2 months. I'm sure. Another bridge burned. Another consequence I hadn't thought through. That night, I drove to the neighborhoods where I'd collected bottles. I don't know why. Maybe hoping to find some symbolic closure in the places where this all started. Instead, I ran into Mrs. Chen, the elderly woman whose street I'd walked every morning. Oh, bottle boy, she called out in her broken English. I not see, long time. No collect anymore. No mom, I don't collect anymore. That too bad. I save special bottles for. Very clean ones. She smiled. Tell me saving for special girl. Buy her nice present. I stared at this kind woman, who'd gotten early some mornings just to leave me clean bottles by her gate, who'd been part of my grand romantic gesture without even knowing it. Yeah. I said. I bought her the present. She happy? No ma'am. She wasn't happy. Chen's face fell. She reached out and patted my arm. Sometimes we try hard but tried wrong way. I cried in my car for 10 minutes after that conversation. Thursday, the real humiliation began. Sarah and I had the same friend group. 4 couples who hung out together for years. Game nights, barbecues, doublebecues. I knew they'd have to pick sides. My phone rang. It was Tyler, my best friend since high school. Dude, what the happened? Sarah called Jess crying. Said guys broke but wouldn't say why. We both cheated on each other. Silence. Then. What? Heard me. We're both cheaters. We're both awful people who destroyed something good. Man, this doesn't sound like pomp. Well, it is me. This is who I am now. Tyler sighed. Look, Jess is really close with Sarah. She's going to need support right now. Maybe guys should skip game night this weekend. Game night. Our tradition for 3 years. I was being uninvited from my own friend group. Sure. Yeah. Maybe give us some time to process this. This is a lot. Don't call us, we'll call. Except they wouldn't. Friday night, I sat alone in our apartment. My apartment now, holding that bottle of Chanel No. I'd been carrying it around all week like a talisman of my failures. Kelly had texted from a new number. I got fired. Manager said quit because of me. This isn't fair. She was right. It wasn't fair. Nothing about this was fair. I opened the perfume bottle and smelled it. Sweet, floral, expensive. Everything Sarah deserved, and I'd tried so hard to give her. But it smelled wrong now. Tainted with betrayal and lies and broken promises. My phone buzzed with a notification. Sarah had posted on Instagram, for the first time since Saturday. A photo of her and Marcus at some fancy restaurant. Both of them smiling. The caption: New beginnings. She looked happier in that one photo than she'd looked with me in months. I the perfume bottle against the wall. It shattered, leaving a stain that would never come out, and this place forever. That's when it really hit me. This wasn't just a breakup. This was the complete destruction of the I'd built. My relationship, my job, my friends, my reputation, my self-respect. All for what? A few conversations with someone who made me feel special. A few moments of attention when I felt invisible. I looked at the broken glass and perfume stain on my wall, and realized something that made me physically ill-eyed. Collected bottles for 2 months. Believing I was doing something beautiful for someone I loved. When really I was just practicing for the day. I'd finally throw everything away. I keep getting messages asking how I'm doing now. The short answer is I'm not. The long answer is what I'm about to tell. Maybe it'll save someone else from making the same mistakes. After the perfume bottle incident, I had to repaint that wall 3 times. The stain kept bleeding through. Kind of like everything else in my now. I found a new job at a warehouse across town. Night shift, loading trucks. No one talks much, which suits me fine. I can't handle small talk anymore. Can't pretend to be the kind of person who deserves friends. The worst part isn't the loneliness though. It's running into people. Last month, I saw Kelly at the grocery store. She was with some guy. Laughing at something he said. When she spotted me, her face went cold. She whispered something to him, and they switched eyes. I stood there holding a box of cereal like remembering how she used to light when she saw me. How she made me feel interesting, wanted, special. For what? 3 weeks of my that cost me everything else. 2 weeks ago, I ran into Tyler at the gas station. My former best friend barely made eye contact. Hey man. He said, awkward as, hey, how been? Fine, fine. Good, good. He looked like he wanted to escape.
Well, I should.
Yeah. See you around. But we both knew he'd make sure that didn't happen. The friend group pictures still show on my Instagram feed sometimes, before I remember to unfollow people. Game nights that happen without me. Barbecues I'm not invited to. Tyler's birthday party last month, where I could see through the window of his backyard from the street. Everyone I used to call family. Laughing and drinking and living their lives like I was never part of them. I was the cancer they had to out to stay healthy. Sarah's doing great. From what I can see online. She passed her nursing boards. Got a job at Children's Hospital. Marcus proposed to her 3 months ago, with a ring that makes mine look like something from a gumball machine. Her engagement photos are beautiful. She's glowing in every single one. Happier than I ever made her. I want a him but I can't. He gave her stability, attention. A future that wasn't built on lies and second jobs and empty promises. Everything I should have given her, but was too selfish, too weak. Too to figure out. She blocked me on everything after I sent her a long apology text in February. I don't blame her. The text was selfish anyway. I wasn't apologizing to make her feel better. I was apologizing to make feel less guilty. It didn't work. My lease is next month. I'm moving to a studio apartment on the other side of the city. New neighborhood, new grocery stores, new routes to work. Somewhere I won't risk running into the ghosts of who I used to be. Mom keeps calling, asking when I'm going to bring Sarah around for dinner again. I still haven't told my family what happened. How to explain that the best thing in for absolutely nothing. We're just taking a break. I keep telling her. Sarah's focused on her career right now. The lies never stop, apparently. Last weekend, I was walking through that same mall where this all started. I don't know why like that, but I ended at the perfume counter where Sarah first saw that Channel bottle. The same saleswoman was there. She recognized me. Oh, we're the bottle collector, she said, smiling. How did surprise go? Did she love it? I stared at her for way too long. This woman who'd wrapped my grand gesture so beautifully. Who'd been part of what I thought Was going to be the best day of my relationship. She already had one. I finally said, "Oh," her face fell. "Oh, I'm sure she appreciated the thought." "No. She didn't." I walked away before she could respond. But her confused, pitying expression followed me home. That night, I did something I'd been avoiding for months. I looked the price of the engagement ring I'd bought. Sarah. The one that sat in my desk drawer for 2 months before I finally pawned it. I got $800 for it at the pawn shop. It was worth $2,400 new. Sarah's new ring, the one Marcus gave her. I looked it online, 8,000. Minimum. He didn't have to collect bottles for 2 months. Didn't have to work overtime or sacrifice or plan. He just walked into a store and bought her the she deserved. I was too broke, too immature, too unfaithful to give her. Want to know the really sick part? I still have Kelly's number memorized. Sometimes, when the loneliness gets too heavy, I think about calling her. Not because I miss her, but because she's the only person left who might pick the phone. But then I remember that she was just as broken as I was. Just as willing to destroy someone else's relationship for a few moments of feeling special. We didn't fall in love. We fell into each other's damage and called it chemistry. 3 days ago, I found out why I'm really writing this. I was at the warehouse, taking my break, when I overheard 2 of my coworkers talking. One of them, Miguel, was complaining about his girlfriend. "She's always studying, man. Never has time for me anymore. I feel invisible. That sucks," said the other guy, Dave. "Maybe need someone who appreciates more. Actually, there's this girl at my other job. She's been real friendly lately. Asks about my day, no. Makes me feel like I matter." I almost choked on my coffee, thinking about doing something about it. Dave asked. Miguel shrugged. "Talking to someone who gets it, no. Nothing serious." That's exactly what I told about Kelly. Just talking. Nothing serious. Just someone who understood. I wanted to grab Miguel by the shoulders, wanted to tell him that just talking turns into just texting, which turns meeting for coffee, which turns into just one, which turns into losing everything I actually care about. But I didn't say anything. Because who am I to give relationship advice? I'm the guy who collected bottles for perfume his girlfriend didn't want. Falling for a coworker who didn't matter. Instead, I went home and started typing this story. Maybe Miguel will read it someday. Maybe someone like me will see it before they make the same mistakes. Maybe someone will read this and realize that the person they're just talking to isn't worth losing the person they're planning to marry. Maybe someone will understand that when they're feeling invisible, the solution isn't to find someone new to see. It's to figure out why you're hiding from the person who already does. But, probably not. Probably they'll do what I did. Tell themselves their situation is different. That their connection is real. That their partner doesn't understand them like this new person does. They'll convince themselves they deserve to feel special, even if it means making someone else feel. The perfume is still here, by the way. I bought a new bottle after I smashed the first one. Don't ask me why. Maybe because it was the only tangible thing left from before I ruined everything. It sits on my kitchen counter now. Unopened. A 150 reminder that the road to really is paved with good intentions. Sometimes I hold it and try to remember what it felt like to let someone enough to collect garbage for them. To believe I was doing something romantic instead of something pathetic. But mostly it just reminds me that love isn't about grand gestures or expensive gifts, or proving how much you're willing to sacrifice. Love is about showing, every day. Being present. Choosing the person or with over everyone else, especially when it's hard. Love is what Sarah was trying to do when she stayed studying, while I felt sorry for her. When she worked toward a career that could help our future. What she was trying to build while I was tearing it down with someone, love. Because I thought it was about me. About what I needed. What I deserved. How I felt. I never understood that real love means making smaller sometimes so the person care about can grow bigger. By the time I figured that out, it was too late. So here I am. 28 years old, living alone, working nights, avoiding mirrors because I the person looking back at me. I collected bottles to buy perfume for someone who deserved better than me. And now I know I was right about one thing. Some stains never wash out. No matter how many times try to paint over them.